So guys, pull up a bit. Pull up a bit so that we can keep the discussion volume at a normal talking level. We have at least 2 Gardens of Gethsemane. The one that most folks go to is not here. It's slightly down the slope. It's very crowded and not going to be possible for us to gather up very well. We'll try. It's the one that's opened a lot. This one is not open very often. When I saw the door open, I decided to come in. All right. I take the advantage when we can.
Thank you, Paul. I've never been in here.
Yeah, this is the Russian Orthodox Church, Church of Mary Magdalene. Remembering the Garden of Gethsemane, it looks like Russian Orthodox, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It's the Russian Orthodox Church in the 1800s. Russia was the protector of Greek Orthodox interests in the Ottoman Turkish Empire. Greece was kind of weak at the point, and Russia said, "We'll guard your interests," and that allowed Russia to have kind of a foot up in the politics of the Middle East here, leading up to and coming out of World War I. The church was built in the 1880s, when the mountain was more or less empty. And we have a book in the library that shows photographs of the building being built, and it's kind of fun to see the arches go up and then the walls and things as you go.
Was there anything underneath it, Paul, that built on top of it?
I don't believe so, no. 2 stories. Number 1, the sisters who are in custody of the property consider themselves to be white Russian Orthodox, as opposed to red Russian Orthodox. White Russian Orthodox are the sisters who never recognized the authority of the Soviets, loyal to the Tsar all the way through. The Tsar was in charge, of course, until 1917, when the church was built. The Tsar built churches in what is West Jerusalem and churches here in East Jerusalem. In 1917, when Russia went Soviet, the clergy in churches in Jerusalem remained loyal to the Tsar, did not recognize the Soviet control, remained white Russian. In 1946, Jordan became an independent nation. This church was in Jordan. The Soviets were looking for Arab support and recognized Jordan as a state in spite of the feelings of their sisters here. In 1948, Israel became an independent nation, non-Arab. Israel was looking for support from Russia. And David Ben-Gurion talked to Stalin, and Stalin said, Russia will recognize Israel as a nation if you get my disloyal sisters and fathers down here to recognize me. And Ben-Gurion said, no problem, I see the greater good. And so we closed the Russian Orthodox churches, turned them into museums. Stalin said, thank you. And Russia recognized, the Soviet Union recognized Israel. Over here, they never recognized the Soviets. They still don't. They still don't. They remained faithful to the Tsar. What kind of a personality, what kind of a backbone does it take to stand up to Stalin and get away with it? All right? So you don't mess with these ladies, all right? When you go in. If they ask you to do something, you better do it, right? Very faithful, very devoted, very committed to the gospel message that is given here. That's story number 1. Story number 2 is this. If you're here on Orthodox Easter, this year that's the week after Western Easter. Easter on your calendar plus a week is Orthodox Easter. Saturday night, come here at midnight. There's a service inside. The lights are off. It's dark inside. Jesus is still in the tomb. Just after midnight, Easter Sunday morning, the congregation comes out. They walk around the church 3 times, calling Jesus out of the tomb, calling on the resurrection. When we enter back in the church, all the lights are on. Jesus is arisen. This is the first spot of the resurrection memory. Here in the Eastern Church, on the Eastern. I'll let you go in. You can't walk around it, but you can go in, spend a few minutes, not a lot. We've got a couple more places to go before lunch. Look around a bit. You can maybe meet some of the sisters if you want to practice your Russian. And I'll meet you back here in maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes back here.
The church was closed? You said they closed the church?
No. No, in Israel, the ones in Israel. The Russian Orthodox property in Israel became Israeli government property. And just within the last few years, it was handed back to Russia. Yeah.